Hello. It's great to be here today. I will give you a little overview of what this product is, and we'll jump in and I'll start showing it to you. So Rudolph Property Explorer lets you see commercial real estate market data that I can guarantee 99% of your competitors are not using yet, and that you can start using very easily today to provide your clients with better, more insightful service, win new clients, and put more distance between yourself and your competitors. What is this market data? It's the properties, loans, and leases from the commercial mortgage-backed security market, or referred to as CMBS. In the past couple of decades, about 20% of all commercial real estate financing has been through CMBS. And one of the great things about CMBS is the transparency you get into the commercial real estate market through it. And I want to demonstrate, just for fun, what that transparency can let you do. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to hop into, this is just a search screen. This is your home screen. But there's also a list view, but I like interacting with the map view the most. But you can search by borrower name, and a funny thing I like to show people is that you can go look at our current president, some of his loans and properties. And so this, for instance, is Trump Tower commercial condominium, and you can see some basic property info from here. You can look at the loans on it. You can see what tenants, at least the largest tenants, it's exposed to. And if I actually go into this loan, something that was just added this week is you can see the actual loan payments on this. And so here's a history of every loan payment made on this loan. And so let's see. We're going to come back to this in just one second, but how do I stop the share? Stop the share. Beautiful. Actually, we're going to continue sharing. Excuse me. But so basically, the numbers she provided you with have actually gone up by several thousand, because every month more of these bonds, CMBS is just a collection of commercial real estate loans that have been bundled together and sold to investors. And every month there are many more, or there's generally a few issued each month, and so hundreds of properties are added every month. And this information isn't really available everywhere else. So CoStar doesn't have a lot of the underlying asset information in here. There will be a little bit of crossover, but we've had clients compare searches, and there are many leases, for instance, that aren't. And you can, from this map view, you can see there's a lot of different ways you can filter this data for yourself. And so you can do it by geography, show you where I am in Dallas. You can do it by property type. If I only wanted to see, say, office properties, you can add that to your search. And one of the beautiful things about this is you might not need nationwide data, because you might be a CRE professional who only does work in a couple of markets, and that's great because you can just save the searches that are relevant to you and get notified when new properties match those searches. And so once you get set up with an account, it's actually really easy to get a lot of value out of the platform without having to visit it all the time. And so, for instance, we have some banking customers who do lending in particular markets. And this is an example of a search that they're interested in. They want to know about loan maturities and a couple different MSAs on the Atlantic coast. And this is an example of properties that have loans maturing 6 months to 2 years from now. And one of the things about this is we've tried to make it very easy to explore any piece of information you see. And so there's property information, there's loan information, there's tenant information, and all of these are links, you notice. And so you can go to this loan, and you can see the collateral behind it. You can see who the borrowers are. You can see the tenants, and all of these things have their own pages. And so it might be that I only have one discrete wireless loan, but there are tenants like Dollar General where there are hundreds and hundreds of leases in here. Let's see. The main reason most of your competitors aren't using this data is the existing providers tend to have pretty archaic account structures. So if you want to get this data from, say, Trup Loan or Morningstar, you're signing up for year-long accounts or annual lock-ins. And for Nationwide, the pricing is, you're talking generally over $1,000 a month for Nationwide data. And even if you prorate it, some of those providers let you prorate it down, you're still talking hundreds. And I'd say the best value proposition for Rudolph Data is that our accounts are $50 a month per user for everything. There is one caveat to that, which is it's been a highly requested feature to export your searches, your loans, and your properties that you might be interested in. And later this month, we will be having a new account tier that will be more expensive. Probably $200 a month is what I think we've settled on. And that will let you have unlimited exporting. So let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fill 30 minutes of time today, but I can show you more features of this. Every single record is bookmarkable. So there's a star on a loan page, there's a star on a property page, and you can save searches to your bookmarks. You can add notes to all of these properties if you're interested, and you can look up things by your notes. And then your account management is, you don't have to speak with anyone over the phone. You can sign up and cancel without having to speak to anyone. And here, one other thing I will show you is that all of the data in here is auditable because it's all public information. So you can go to, this is a property in Tampa, Florida, and you can actually visit the filing, and you can see this is on the SEC website, but this is exactly where all the data comes from. And to the uninitiated, it is this is a large file, and this is why there's value in these products. But actually understanding how to get relevant information for your business out of these filings is very difficult. And that's something we're happy to walk you through if you ever want to know. And yeah, there is.
Hey, Ford, we do have a couple of questions, if you'd be willing to take them.
Yeah, where do you see the...
Okay. So the first question is, what is your pricing model for users?
Yeah, it is just $50 a month. You can sign up, you can cancel at any time. You literally just go to your account and you go to your billing info, and you can change your payment method, or you can cancel your subscription right there. So the account structure and the billing is incredibly simple. If you've managed a Netflix account, it's about that hard.
Well, that sounds awesome. The next question that we have also is, how often is your data updated?
Yeah, so every hour we are checking with the SEC website for new bonds, new prospectuses, and new loan distribution reports, which give you updates on the loans. And one thing to keep in mind when I guess you're looking at this data is, especially as you get closer, so like you can do a search for, you know, leases expiring, say, am I sharing? Okay, I am sharing my screen. That's great. Sorry. 6 months from now to say like 2 years from now. And one thing to keep in mind is as you get closer to a lease expiration, I mean, the data is starting to get stale because they're probably renegotiating beforehand. And the same with the refinancings. So you will be able to see month by month. There's generally a 1 month lag on the loans, but you'll be able to see if the loan's been prepaid. We have the current status on every loan, and there's over 17,000 loans. But there's no guarantee that, for instance, the lease data is current at the time you're viewing it, even though it is straight from the lender and the rent rolls when the bond is issued.
Okay, Ford, we also have another question, and do you integrate with any other systems?
At this point in time, no, we do not. When that new tier comes out of membership that will give you unlimited exports, so it would let you say you have 4,000 properties that have leases, almost 5,000 properties that have leases expiring here. Exporting that to a spreadsheet, you're going to have a couple different options to export, whether the properties or the loans or the leases. And that should make it easy if you want to put this data into your own system to get it in there however you'd like. But at this point in time, it is just, you can see all this data from inside this application at prorudolph.com. But right now there's no way to put it in, say, like an internal system you might be working with.
So Ford, I have a quick question for you. You currently don't integrate with any other systems, and you said that there aren't any that you would integrate with internally. Do you have any plans to integrate with any other tech companies to help bring your data and other companies to a specific clientele?
Yes. So I'm in active conversations with a couple companies about sub-licensing this data into their market. Because I definitely understand the frustration of having to go to managing multiple accounts and having to go to a million different places to perform a good market study. And so hopefully, hopefully in the next couple of months, there will be some announcements where this data will be elsewhere. And there are providers of this data. So TrepLoan, Morningstar, RCA, our Real Capital Analytics do provide some of these things. It's just for many CRE professionals, your average tenant rep broker, your average lender, it's cost prohibitive, and the decision to get one of those products frequently has to come from your parent organization because you're making such a financial or economic commitment to have an account with them. And so the beauty of, I guess, Rudolph Property Explorer is, and especially once you're able to export it so you can use however you want, is that the more modern account structure and the much more affordable pricing. And that's one of the frustrating things when I'm talking to some of these other companies that would want to put it in there is they want to charge tremendously more for the same data.
Thanks, Ford. Also, quickly, can you tell us all about your pilot program that you have that goes on with your tech?
Oh yeah, sure. It's still very early days for this product, and we really only launched so that people could start signing up in early August. And the pilot program is really just the fact that our early customers have a tremendous say in the direction of the product's development. So if you sign up today and you see something, or you have a conversation with me and you'd like to be able to search by a different parameter, or you want X, Y, or Z feature, that is, for now, that is incredibly influential in terms of what new features are getting made and what gets hit to production. And that can be a turnaround time of a day or two at this point. Let's see. So I see another question. How well does this work in more rural areas? And the answer is most CMBS is in major markets. And so it is a little disappointing to look at more rural cities because there's generally just not a ton of CMBS debt in those markets. But if you do business in any major MSA, there's the odds that an individual property you're already looking at happens to be financed with CMBS is pretty low. But the odds that if you're doing a market study, that there's going to be a lot of relevant properties in that market, especially if it's a major market, that you're going to have great transparency into their underlying financials, into the leases, and into who the borrower is. That's where this can really shine. But if you come to it and say, oh, I'm working on this deal, it'd be great if I knew who the borrower was and what their loan terms were for this property. You generally come to this and you're a little disappointed. Sometimes you get lucky. But if it's more of I'm prospecting for new clients, or I'm doing a market study and trying to get comparables, or I'm looking for deals to become interested in, then this is definitely a product you're going to want to take a look at. And because of the account structure, it might be that you take a look at it, you sign up for an account, and if the information and the data is not there that you feel you needed to have it be worth it, that's great. You can cancel. And if a use case comes up in the future, it's easy to hop right back in, pick up where you left off.
Thanks, Ford. We do have another question that came in. Could you just give an overview of your company again?
Sure. Rudolph Data is, this is the first product we offered. The company right now is literally just me. So you're talking to the customer support, you're talking to the CEO and the developer. And that is, at this point in time, I think that's a huge asset because you have direct access to, I know every piece of the system, and I know all the underlying data you're seeing very well, and and I'm very responsive to anyone who wants to go deep on something or be guided through how they can get the most value out of this product. All right.
Do we have any other questions for Ford about Rudolph? Okay. I think we are all set then.
I see one, any plans for a mobile application? At this point in time, I don't think so. And part of the reason is this data is definitely for professional users. The data is right now it isn't even optimized for mobile viewing, and part of that has to do with just the complexity of the data. But in the future, I'll definitely make the web application or the website more mobile optimized or more responsive to smaller screen sizes, but you definitely get the most out of it right now from your laptop or your desktop. All right.
Okay, are there any other questions? Just give it a few more seconds just in case something comes through and there's a slight delay.
Okay. Oh, I do want to share with people, if you want to get in touch for a demo, the website is prorudolph.com. You can also contact me directly, forward@prorudolph.com. And it's real easy to hop on another video chat and walk you through whatever. I can speak more directly to what your use cases might be. But yeah, it's very simple to use product once you hop in it. Oh, did get one more. Is contact info for borrowers available? No. The one thing I will show, I'm going to share my screen again because I get this question a lot, is frequently when a loan is extended for commercial real estate, it's to the sponsoring entity or the borrower is an LLC set up specifically for that. And this data can help you get to a person behind that loan. And so I hate to do this kind of search again, but this is for Jared Kushner Properties. And you can see on some of his loans, there are all these entities set up for individual properties. But what is also disclosed is the carve-out guarantor is Jared Kushner. And so I don't have his contact information, and these the bond prospectuses and filings don't disclose that, but they can help you get beyond an LLC to an actual person's name. And they can also show you a web of, I can click on this and this is all of the properties and loans which he is a guarantor on. But unfortunately, there are no phone numbers or emails disclosed with this, but it can definitely be a good starting point to get closer.
Okay, we do have one more question. What is your willingness to participate, willingness to tap in New York City markets by partnering with another tech company?
So, yeah, my experience in Dallas has been that the appetite for investing in working with tech companies is not as high as it might be elsewhere, and I'm open to all conversations right now. I'd love to give this more distribution. I'd love to get this into more markets. And so if there are companies that are interested in incorporating this into the product and they don't want to spend the months and months of work and hiring for the expertise to build this, I'm definitely open to coming to an arrangement that works for everyone. But the answer is we're in talks with some people already, and hope to be initiating more of those conversations.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Ford.
Thank you very much.
That was great.